Dr. Phang, please.
Guest of Honor, Chief Nursing Officer Ms. Pauline Koh, Deputy Chair of Ngee Polytechnic Health Sciences Advisory Committee, Principal and CEO of Ngee Polytechnic, Mr. Lim Kok Kiang, Advisory Committee members, distinguished guests, graduates and colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Firstly, I would like to thank our guest of honor, Ms. Pauline Koh, for gracing today's ceremony. Secondly, my heartiest congratulations to all graduates from the School of Health Sciences on this special day as you receive from Ngee Polytechnic the Diploma in Nursing. The School of Health Sciences is holding two ceremonies today, graduating a total of 685 students from PET, Pre-Employment Training, and CET, Continuing Education and Training courses. As we come together to celebrate this milestone, I feel like a proud mother, sending off my children, in this case you, to a big wide world. Some mothers, like me today, might feel slightly paranoid, wondering if the children will survive and thrive. So my speech will be from that context, preparing you for the journey from now onwards. The world we live in used to be described as VUCA, V-U-C-A, which stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. But VUCA may no longer accurately describe the world we are seeing and experiencing today, which is now replaced by a new acronym, BANI, B-A-N-I. BANI stands for brittle, anxiety, non-linear, and incomprehensible. Please allow me to unpack it here. The B stands for brittle. What once seemed solid and strong can suddenly break under pressure. System, structure, and supply chains that worked well before may no longer hold up in today's fast-changing environment. A stands for anxiety. The constant stream of unexpected changes can make us feel anxious all the time, not knowing what might come next. N is for linear, non-linear. What it means is that the world no longer follows a clear cause and effect path. And finally, I stands for incomprehensible. The world has become so complex that events don't often have obvious explanations, unlike physics, where dropping a ball can be clearly explained by gravity. Many of today's changes can't be traced to a single cause. It's hard to make sense of things when they seem to defy logic or pattern. How would or should healthcare professionals like yourself, as nurses, navigate and thrive this world that is described to be BANI? In a brittle world, people, systems, and organizations can clearly break under pressure. What we truly need is resilience, not the absence of hardship, but the ability to recover, adapt, and emerge stronger. As nurses, you will encounter immense pressures. The heavy workload, the changing patient care protocols, adapting to technology, and so on. Your experiences might test your spirit and stretch your limits. To thrive and survive, you need to build up your resilience. But resilience isn't about being unbreakable. It's about how quickly, creatively, and courageously you rebuild when you do break. Today, I would like to introduce to you the Hydra, which is from the Greek mythology. It is a serpent-like monster. When one head of the Hydra is cut off, two more will grow in its place, so it can end up with multiple heads. In a brittle world, I will urge you to be a Hydra, Face the thrusts and cuts that come your way. As a Hydra, you don't shy away from pressure but deal with it. You will bounce back and come back with two hits. If you never face pressure and adversity, you may remain as a Hydra with just one head. But if you're willing to put up with the pain, the uncertainty, and the discomfort, you can end up with multiple heads. You transform yourself into something stronger and more capable. The principle just does not apply to individuals. It applies to systems and organizations too. Singapore is a living example of the Hydra mindset. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we experienced deep pain, the loss of life, a national lockdown, and unprecedented stress on our healthcare system. But instead of crumbling, we responded, adapted, and reinvented. We strengthened our healthcare infrastructure, coordinated public health strategies, and built a national culture of resilience. We didn't just bounce back, we came back stronger, like the Hydra, with more heads, with more capability. So tell yourself, I will not be brittle. Tell yourself, I will be a Hydra. By the way, there is a real-life creature also called the Hydra. It is a tiny freshwater organism related to jellyfish and sea anemone. Hydras are famous for their incredible regenerative abilities. If cut into pieces, each part can regenerate into a whole new Hydra. So be a Hydra. The next letter is A for anxiety. Anxiety in today's world is real and it's rising. Unchecked, anxiety can lead to serious mental health challenges. And this is something we can no longer ignore. In Singapore, mental health is now a national priority. Schools and workplaces are taking concrete steps, offering programs for stress management, emotional regulation, and psychological support. As healthcare professionals, you face pressures in caring for patients, staying updated with evolving medical technologies, and balancing demanding expectations. The weight can feel overwhelming. If you ever feel affected by anxiety, talk to your peers and supervisors, and do not hesitate to seek professional help for your own well-being. Experiencing some anxiety, in fact, can be a good thing. Think back to your major exams that you have taken. Remember the slight nervousness before you sat down to study? That was anxiety doing its job, pushing you to prepare just a little harder. In the same way, a bit of healthy anxiety experienced at work can push you to perform better, to improve your skills and strive for excellence in delivering patient care. The key is not to eliminate anxiety completely. Understand it, harness it, and let it work positively for you. And remember, you are not the only one who experiences anxiety. Your patients do too. Often, when your patients appear frustrated, impatient, or even angry, what you are really seeing is fear, which is the source of anxiety. Fear of the unknown, fear of test results that the doctor ordered for them, fear of pain, fear of losing control over their own bodies and lives. When you recognize that fear is at the root of your patient's reactions, it becomes easier for you not to take their reactions personally. Their anger isn't always about you, it's a way that your patients cope with their struggles. The next letter N stands for non-linear. In today's complex world, the idea of cause-effect is no longer straightforward. We live in a non-linear reality where small actions can trigger disproportionately large consequences, and big efforts can sometimes yield little or no results. It's unpredictable, messy, and full of surprises. We have seen this globally. A single social media post can spark worldwide movements. A local outbreak in one city can escalate into a global pandemic. This is a non-linear world we live in, where the smallest action can ripple out and shape the landscape in unexpected ways. Healthcare is perhaps one of the most non-linear fields of all. A routine procedure can suddenly become life-saving. A missed detail becomes critically fatal. But more importantly, a moment of kindness, a word of reassurance, can dramatically alter a patient's emotional and physical state. I would like to share a letter to demonstrate the non-linear world that you operate in. It's a letter from a patient's member who wrote in when 2 among the graduating cohort today were caring for their patients during their Year 2 placement. I quote, "Dear Mr. Lim," referring to Principal of Ngee Polytechnic and Dr. Phang, "My mom is a patient in Tan Tock Seng Hospital, Ward 11C. I would like to let you know that Ngee Polytechnic students intern, Ms. A. Serena Christine and Ms. Goh Hui Zi, have impressed my mother, my friend who often visits, and I with their personality, dedication, work ethics, and professionalism. They are both always very polite, gentle, patient, prompt, and caring to the patients. Whenever the patient requested help, they will swiftly attend to them. I often wonder where they get the energy and enthusiasm to constantly help all patients without showing any signs of displeasure or fatigue. Their help in the ward is instrumental in meeting the patient's need. In addition to satisfying the patient's requests, they perform duties like measuring the blood pressure, heartbeat, resetting the drip tube professionally. Ms. A. Serena Christine is always composed and responsive. If I ask her to help my mom with changing her diaper, she would immediately tell me, "Okay, let me get another person to help." But before that person is here, Ms. A. Serena Christine is ready with her gloves and plastic apron. My mom said Ms. Goh Hui Zi is very neat and quick in executing her work. She engaged in small tasks with my mom, praising her for her good skin, and that made my mother laugh. Their work is testimony of Ngee Polytechnic's quality education. The school has nurtured both of them well, and that in turn has benefited patients and their families. They have done the school proud. We would like to express our gratitude to both Ngee Polytechnic and the 2 students." Unquote. Thank you, Serena and Hui Zi, for making us proud. The compliment letter is a clear demonstration of the power of your presence, your words, and your actions, no matter how minor they may seem. In a non-linear world, graduates, you can be a catalyst, and every moment you spend with your patient holds the potential for change. Finally, the letter I for incomprehensible. The world around us is described as incomprehensible or unpredictable. Complexity seems to surround us at every turn. From climate change to geopolitical tensions, from pandemics to AI disruptions, information floods our life faster than we can process it. People are overwhelmed, confused, often paralyzed by the sheer volume of uncertainty. Globally, we have seen how this confusion can lead to fear, mistrust, and even resistance, especially in healthcare. During the COVID-19 pandemic in other parts of the world, we heard of public health authorities which struggled not just to fight the virus, but to fight miscommunication about vaccination. Vaccination efforts were sometimes hindered not by access, but by anxiety, skepticism, and confusion. When the world becomes seemingly incomprehensible, your role as nurses becomes even more critical. You become the bridge. Healthcare professionals are not just caregivers, you are translators. You take the vast complex world of medicine, terms like biopsy, diabetic retinopathy, or multi-drug resistant infections, and you translate them into compassionate clarity that patients and families can understand. A diagnosis may be terrifying. A treatment plan may sound like a foreign language, but in that moment of fear experienced by a patient, your presence, your ability to listen, your reassuring way of explaining things simply and patiently, that's what makes the difference. It's not just about explaining a test result. It's about restoring a sense of control and dignity to someone who feels lost. It's about turning medical jargon into human care. And in systems that are increasingly digital, fast-paced, and sometimes impersonal, your role as nurses is as a translator of meaning becomes even more valuable. When the world seems incomprehensible, you offer clarity. When the patients are overwhelmed, you offer calm. And when the medicine feels like a maze, you become the guide who walks alongside them. Not just with knowledge, but with heart. That's the true power of what you do. Graduates, in this bunny world, you are not just healthcare professionals. You are carers, advocates, and hope bearers. Class of 2025, with Bunny, healthcare needs you more than ever. Be a hydra and